Hey everyone, Matt Strauntz here.
And I'm Yale Miller, and we are here today to give a post-launch update. To start, Endgame. The response to Endgame has been awesome, and starting tomorrow, it will be available for everyone. As you can see from our posts, there are a bunch of extras that we're giving out for all of you that naturally unlocked Endgame. Thanks so much for playing. So Matt, I know the team has been hard at work on weapon balance. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, so first up, let's talk about SMGs. I've been getting a lot of your tweets about SMGs, and we're getting a ton of data, of course. So first up, we're gonna be targeting kind of a buff across the board for all SMGs, and then looking at specific attachments that target recoil and range. So next up, I'll talk about marksman rifles and sniper rifles. While we don't have any specific plans just yet, we are monitoring the data, but the overall goal with those weapons in Black Ops 7 is that they are a bit more present without being too dominant. Last, I want to talk about shotguns. So in a previous dev talk, I touched on our new damage model where we can tune pellet damage and base shotgun damage. We are closely monitoring shotguns. We feel pretty good about where they're at, but want to make sure that they're not becoming too dominant and overpowered, which we know can be frustrating. So that's some of what we're looking at across our weapon classes, but rest assured the team is hard at work looking at every single weapon and attachment to ensure balance.
So I know aim assist is a big topic, and I know you have updates there as well.
So yes, aim assist is a big conversation out there. We have been closely monitoring that conversation and of course, looking at our internal data. We're fairly happy with where we're at, but we will be making some very nuanced changes and slightly increasing aim assist strength over range ahead of season 1. So with spawns, we are always closely monitoring our spawn system and spawn logic across the board. We've got some big changes coming in season 1, and then ahead of that, we're looking very closely at our hardpoint, free-for-all, and team deathmatch spawns specifically.
So I know there's also a bunch of changes coming to equipment, score streaks, etc. And I'm hearing you're gonna make a nerf on one of my favorites, the drone pod.
That's right. We've heard the feedback on the drone pod field upgrade. We have a ton of knobs and levers there, so we're trying to figure out exactly how we want to approach that. It may come down to reducing the number of drones or their flight speed, but rest assured we are taking a close look at that one. And we are looking at specific damage tuning for hardcore modes. Additionally, we are looking across the board at our portfolio, but we've got some targeted buffs coming in for the point turret, needle drone, Molotov, and cluster grenade. Last but not least, the specific change is we will be increasing the visible range for the default minimap in multiplayer.
We're really excited about everyone being able to jump into Nuketown today and Endgame tomorrow, and then we have one of the biggest seasons ever with season 1 dropping really soon.
And just to add on, I'm personally so excited to be getting my hands on 6 more multiplayer maps, and of course, the weekly challenge system. So much more to come.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Drew, Design Director for Zombies, and we're here today to talk about some of the changes that we're making coming out of launch weekend. Let's start with the boss fight for Ashes of the Damned. So this was designed to be very challenging, but we found that it's actually more challenging than we expected for a boss fight for our launch map. So we're gonna be making a couple of changes to make it slightly easier. The first thing we're gonna do is make sure that the barnacles are respawning throughout the fight and healing Tessie for more of its health. So you can spend more time skillfully driving and less time outside of Tessie repairing her. The next thing we're doing is the missile barrage attack that Bytharian does. We're slowing down the speed slightly so you have more room of error to move out of the range of the missiles. We're also making the spin attack be less aggressive. So if you do get hit by the spin attack, you'll have more time to recover before Bytharian comes after you again while spinning. And then a big one we're doing is for solo, we're just gonna make it easier overall. We're gonna not be spawning Xursas, and we're gonna reduce the damage you take while you're driving in Tessie. We fixed the equivalent exchange augment for quick revive, so now if you kill a zombie while downed, you'll get back up to 3 times. We're sorry about that one, that's on us. So there's lots to talk about with curse mode. Way back when we first started the ability to continue playing after we completed a main quest back in Cold War, we kept seeing that players would continue to play and nothing would change. And so we thought it'd be a really cool idea if we introduced this additional element that's out there to discover, this tablet that you find, and that's how you unlock curse mode. And that's currently how it works. There could be a very painful moment where you did go and do all this work to complete the main quest and beat the boss, and you quit out and you don't get credit. So what we're doing in the next update is just removing the requirement of interacting with the tablet. So as soon as you beat the main quest, and that's in standard, in cursed, and even in directed when that comes out, you'll then unlock the ability to find the relics within that level in Cursed. Another thing to clear up with Cursed is that once you have found a relic and unlocked it, you now have it forever, and it can be used in Cursed mode on any map in the game. And the idea there is that with every season, we're going to be releasing new relics in those maps to find, but you're going to be able to use any of them to choose how you make the mode more difficult. And we're excited to see how players kind of experiment and configure their relics to be able to complete main quests on Tier 3. We've also heard your feedback about wanting to have Cursed available on survival maps. We want to make sure that we're doing it the right way, so that's something we're also going to be looking into for future seasons. In the meantime, we do have an official Call of Duty Discord, so if you do need to look for people to group up with, you can use that as a tool to find other people who are trying to also find relics. The team had a lot of fun watching everyone complete the main quest over the weekend. We were really happy with the time it took for everyone to solve it. And we're still looking forward to seeing how people unlock the various relics in Cursed mode. As of this taping, only a few of the relics have been discovered in Cursed, so hopefully more of them will be discovered before we release even more in Season 1.